Hello, this video is an introduction to a program I've been working on called Treegrep, which is a regex pattern matcher which shows results in a tree format. It also comes with an interface to select a match to open in your editor or enter arguments, and some plugins for other programs, but there'll be more on that later. So after I install the program, I'll just run help here. There's two positional arguments, which are the expression and the path you want to search. And with the other options, you can add on as many expressions as you want and configure a bunch of um, things about the search. Whether you want to follow symlinks, you can add a glob to the search. Decide whether you want to search for hidden files. You can also configure all of the colors used in the program and the character style of the branching characters. There's also a files option, which shows the files that would be searched, or it shows the files that have a match depending on whether or not you passed an expression. Another way to pass arguments is with this environment variable, which prefixes all of the arguments passed whenever you use the program. So I set mine to search for hidden files, but ignore the Git folder, and I set the searcher to use the Treegrep built-in one. You can also set the searcher to be ripgrep, and when that is set, Treegrep will start a search with ripgrep and then parse its output into the tree. So the next thing I'll do is I will set up completions here for my show. And so now if I press tab, I get some nice suggestions here. So I'm running this right now in a smaller project I have, which is DigiTrek, which is a survival typing game I'm working on. So if I just wanted to get an overview of all the files, I could pass files, and which shows the files in a tree like that. I can also do long branch here to get more of an overview, and that shows multiple files per each leaf, and the number of files on each leaf is configurable. So we can start this, we can do an actual search here. Say I wanted to search for where the spawn function is used, and the results show like that. I can also add line numbers, or I can search just one file, so I can do that. And the first menu, the first interface is with -S or --select, which opens up this menu here. You can jump around and find whichever match you want to open. So say I want to open this one on line 111, and it puts you right there in your editor. We can make the search a little bit more interesting though. We can also search for string literals, let's say, and we can search for the beginning part of the attributes. So again, open up the selection menu, and these are the results here. If you press H, it'll show you all the keybinds that are available to you here. So you can move up and down. You can move up and down with bigger jumps. You can move up and down paths, or paths of the same depth. You can move your cursor around. You can page up and down, jump to the top or bottom, and then of course you can quit out of the menu also. So if I want to jump by paths, I can do that. Jump by paths of the same level is also possible. Jump to the top, jump to the bottom, move your cursor around however you want to. And then if I press enter on any of these matches again, it just brings you right to that line. So the other type of menu we have is -- menu, which opens up a text field here where you can just put in any argument that you can put in on the command line. So let's say I want to search for command, I want line numbers, and I want the line number color to be blue. And yeah, let's just do that. So, and there's those results with the arguments used in the menu. And then again, you can open it up there. So that menu really comes into use is in the plugins we have, which are for currently for Vim, neovim, and Helix. So here is an example configuration file you could add to your neovim setup. This uses the lazy package manager, so it downloads the project, builds the binary, and this configuration here is used for the plugin's use. The selection file saves information about the selection, and the program can read that and do whatever it decides to do with that information. So all of these plugins just open up the file at that match in your editor. And the repeat file is used to save arguments so you can easily repeat the search. So I set up a few keybinds here. which are leader TT just opens it with the menu option you just saw. Leader TR repeats the last save search, and leader TF opens it, opens the files, and then in a selection menu you can pick one to open up. So for each of these, leader TT, command, I'll search for a command, and I'll do the ASCII character style. So there's all the times command pops up. And again, you can open wherever you want. If I do leader TR, it repeats the last search, say I want to open there. And then leader TF so shows the files, so I can open up whichever one I want. It's a similar idea for Vim. This is using the Vim plugin manager. So it just, again, downloads the project, builds the binary, and I set up the same keybinds here. So I can show that in Vim. If I do leader TT, again, same thing. Can jump around here the same way. It's one-to-one to how it is just when you use it by itself on the command line, and you can jump to whatever match you want. For the Helix plugin, it just grabs Treegrep off of the path and then configures the selection file and reads the selection file and opens the editor at that selection. So if I do Control R, which I set it to, it opens up the text field here, and I'll just search for command again. I can do the file colored red, and I'll do line numbers. And so here's that. And again, you can jump around, do whatever you want. Say I want to open a match here, and it places you right there. All right, thank you. That's all I have.